Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while, but I'm back. And before I start this video, I just want to get a few things out of the way before we start our service for today. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get more videos like this. Push me up into the algorithm so that YouTube knows that you guys enjoy my commentary, enjoy my videos, and you want to see more, and that it will be spread out to the masses so everyone else can like this video. I just want to say hello to all my returning subscribers, and if you are new here, I welcome you, we welcome you, and we hope that you are here to stay. So without further ado, today this video is going to be about the asaprocky and asaprelly trial. So I'm going to view this and talk about this from a different perspective. I see a lot of YouTubers who are playing the trial live and they are going over this video from like a legal perspective, but I am going to dive a little deeper and look at it from a perspective of, I guess, psychology, if you would say. Okay, let's talk about it. Friends. Friends who have turned into enemies. Now, I'm sure many of you have experienced this where you've had friendships from when you were a child, maybe even a baby, through junior high school, early adulthood. Many of you have had friends for many, many years, and then it takes one situation where you guys are no longer friends. I've experienced it, and I'm sure there are many of you out there who've experienced the same thing as well. So I want to talk about how asaprocky and asaprelly, they were friends for over 15 years. And I want to talk about, where did this go wrong? How did everything all fall apart? Now, long-term friendships can end for a variety of reasons. Growing apart with changing life priorities, lack of common interests, frequent conflict. Here's a good one: poor communication, geographic distance, betrayal of trust, one-sided dynamics, a difference in values, or not being supportive of each other's needs as life evolves. So for all the reasons that I had mentioned, I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison based off of all of the things that asaprelly has been saying on the stand. Now, right now, I believe they're on either day 4 or day 5 of him being on the witness stand. And if I'm going to give my personal opinion, he sounds very emotional. He sounds like he is extremely hurt. Like I'd mentioned before, this is a 15-year relationship that is now over, that ended in violence. So just a little backstory on why we are here today and why this trial is actually going on. The rapper, whose real name is Rakim Mayers, was charged with 2 felony assault charges relating to a 2021 shooting incident in Hollywood. Authorities allege asaprocky and a former friend got into a heated discussion that turned violent and led to the rapper pulling out a gun and opening fire. So this is a 15-year friendship, and this is how it ends. It's crazy, right? So I'm going to play some clips where you actually hear from asaprelly's mouth different things that he was saying about their friendship, from how their friendship started, and little, I would say, emotional, snarky remarks that he would make about how once asaprocky got famous, how he changed. He kind of grew apart from him, and you can hear the animosity in his voice when he says the things that he says. So, tap in.
Morning. or good afternoon. Do you know the man seated at the table in the tan jacket?
Yes.
What's his name?
Rocky. Rakim Mayor.
And do you know him by any other nicknames?
Asaprocky.
How did you first meet him?
In high school, we grew up together.
How old were you, do you think, when you first met him?
Probably like 17, 18.
When you first met him, was he a well-known, famous rapper?
No.
I want to jump ahead to November 6th, 2021, the date of this incident. Do you remember approximately, or do you remember how old you were that day?
Excuse me?
How old were you on the day that this happened? Do you remember?
Probably 33, 32.
Okay. Would it be fair to say you knew him about maybe 15 years at that point?
Yes.
Over the 15 years that you knew him, were the two of you friends?
Yeah.
Can you describe the closeness of your relationship to him?
The whole 15 years?
Yeah, over the course of your relationship, sort of how it started and then how close you were throughout the 15 years.
Well, I mean, we started a collective ASAP, which is a bunch of, how would you call it, like a bunch of people from New York that got different calendars.
It's okay. Just take a minute. Take a couple deep breaths. The relationship that you're describing in high school, were the two of you close friends? Like, would you see him every day, or was this sort of a friendship where you knew of him but didn't really know him?
No, we knew each other. We knew each other. We knew each other very well. I mean, it was probably like 6 or 7 of us. Probably like 4 of them was rappers.
Do you think you'd see him every day?
Up until he got famous this year.
Okay.
Like a little bit until he got famous.
How long do you think you knew him before? I know it's hard to peg down exactly when someone becomes famous, but about how long do you think you knew him before he became famous?
7 years. 7 years.
And over that 7 years, it was a regular occurrence that you would be with him almost every day, correct?
Yeah.
Would you describe him at that time, the beginning of your relationship, as someone that was like a brother to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you started to tell us about ASAP. What does ASAP stand for?
It means a lot of different things, but always strive to prosper.
Were you a member of ASAP?
Yes.
Within ASAP, did you have a nickname that you went by?
Yeah, really.
Was that something that started when you were in high school?
Yeah.
So based off of what ASAP Relly was saying in court, these kids went to high school together. They met in their senior year. I'm assuming they didn't have jobs, so they were just hanging out together, you know, shooting the shit. That's what high school students do, especially boys. They probably go to play basketball. Well, being that ASAP Rocky's in the music industry, they put this group together with the intention of becoming superstars or becoming rappers. So that's what it sounds like based off of what he said on the stand. So these boys were pretty much together every single day, hanging out, probably in the studio or creating music so that maybe if one makes it, we all make it, or they all try to make it together as a group, because the group, everyone's name starts with ASAP. So that's pretty much the picture that he has painted. These are kids who hang out every single day. They've created a group. They're working on getting into the music industry. And they were friends. They were close. They were with each other every single day. They were like brothers. That's how he had expressed the relationship between ASAP Rocky, ASAP Relly, as well as the other ASAP members. Now, we're going to fast forward into the meat and potatoes as far as what happened on that unfortunate day where their friendship was really considered over, where both ASAP Relly, a couple of the other ASAP members, as well as ASAP Rocky met up and they got into an altercation, which ended in a violent situation.
While you were with Jabari that day, did you overhear a conversation between Jabari and the defendant, Mr. Mayers?
Yeah, we was on our way back from the airport, and he got a call from Rocky.
So the defendant called Jabari?
Yeah.
And can you describe for the jury how it was that you were able to hear the defendant on that call?
We was in the back of the SUV, and he got a call from Rocky, and he put the phone on his stomach. So he was laying back in the truck, and he put his phone on his stomach, and just was like listening, like talking to him.
Was the
I'm
phone
in the
on
other chair.
Was the phone on speaker?
Yeah.
So you could hear both sides of the conversation?
Yeah.
What was the nature of the call between Jabari and the defendant?
It started off first, I believe, like Rocky was trying to get Bari to come to this Complex Con 10-year anniversary thing, and Jabari declined, and the conversation got kind of weird, like, and then Jabari says something like, "Oh, I see you got ills and 12E on the jet," and it became like an inside joke because Rocky hasn't hit them, and it just became an inside joke, kind of. So then Rocky's like, "Oh yeah, you know, I got my niggas with me, boom, 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 whatever." And then instantly after that, he says, "Fuck that nigga Relly." And I'm like, I'm sitting in the back of the chair, and I kind of get up, and I'm like, and then Barbie like stops me. He's like, and then I'm listening, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I don't fuck with." Can I say what I want to say?
Yeah. Say it.
So he pretty much was like, "Oh, I don't fuck with that nigga. He mad emotional, like this, that, and the third." Pretty much. It was so long ago, but it was in the contents of that. And then Jabari's like, "What you mean you don't fuck with him?" And he's like, "I just don't fuck with him. I don't like that nigga, like this, that, and the third." And after he said something about like, it's so long ago, but he was like, I beat him up or something like that. So, you want to keep going?
Let me stop you. You said that you keep saying he said. Were those all things that the defendant said specifically?
Yeah.
So he was the one that said he doesn't fuck with you, correct?
Yeah.
Had you said anything at that point in the car that would have alerted him to the fact that you were actually in the car?
No, he didn't know I was there.
Did Jabari...
I wanted to say something, but Bari was like kind of put his hand to the side to like my leg, you know what I mean? And I was just listening.
I'm assuming then that Jabari didn't tell him, "I'm in the car with..."
Oh, no.
Okay, so as far as you knew, the defendant had no idea that you were in the car.
No, he had no idea.
Other than the specific things that you've already said about you, is there anything else that you can recall that the defendant said about you on that call?
Not at the moment. It was like 3 years ago. So like, I got anxiety. I got anxiety right now. So it's like, I'm trying.
past, have you said that on that call the defendant said, referring to you, he's a bitch?
Absolutely.
All right. At that moment, on November 5th of 2021, were you aware of tension between you and the defense? At the point that the defendant is saying those things about you on the phone, were you also feeling tension in your relationship with him?
I mean, it's kind of always been like that. Towards, it's really hard having a relationship with Rocky.
Can you explain that?
I mean, you want to tell me my personal experience, or?
Yes.
I feel like he's fake.
How so?
He lies a lot. Like, I don't see him, so it's like, how are we gonna have a relationship? You know what I mean?
Is there anything specific that you can think of?
Yeah, with like my companies or just anything, like overall. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had this one joke I call him is the 6-month man, because I was seeing him every 6 months. You know what I mean? But then when you come around, it's like, it's fake. You know what I mean? Like, what are we supposed to be in this ASAP thing for? It's all smoke and mirrors.
Did you actually voice your displeasure
Oh,
to
yeah.
him?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Through text messages. But nothing ever, like, threatening him or anything, just mostly telling him, like, you gotta tighten up, this shit fake.
But you would text message him and say...
And he won't text me back. He would never text me back.
Okay.
I'll probably see him and we'll have a conversation. He'll be like, he'll laugh, like, oh, bro, you emotional or something like that. And intense, like, you know, shit like that.
When he calls you emotional, you heard that as an insult to you, correct?
Not really.
Okay, how did you take it?
Like, he's trying to shoot me off. Like, using that as, like, leverage to be like, not get business done, I guess.
So let's paint a picture. ASAP Rocky is now considered, quote unquote, a superstar. He's with Rihanna. He's in a relationship with Rihanna, very successful. She has her company, Fenty Beauty, mega superstar. She's had multiple sales of albums, very successful individual who he is now in a relationship with, and she has 2 children with. ASAP Rocky has now evolved, or over the years he has evolved. Now, he did mention that they were friends for 7 years before he became famous. Now, I'm pretty sure he played a part, ASAP really played a part in ASAP Rocky's success. He did mention about how there were certain things that he would do, which contributed to ASAP Rocky. Now, oftentimes you have friends who will go above and beyond for you because they want to hang on that person's coattail, with the whole mindset of, we grew up together. We've known each other since we were children, since we were kids, teenagers, 17 years old. All right, we've been friends for 7 years. I've shown loyalty to you. I've done X amount of things for you to show that I am your brother, that I am your friend. So now, and this is what it sounds like. It sounds that ASAP Rocky is now in a totally different realm in life. And based off of what the things that ASAP really was saying, as far as you cannot talk to me any kind of way or be disrespectful towards me, it sounds like ASAP Rocky now treats his friends as they are beneath him. He has put himself on this pedestal where he feels, and I'm only going by ASAP Really's response on the stand, he feels that he can talk to people any kind of way. And ASAP Really said, you are not going to talk to me the way you talk to other people. Like, you're going to show me respect. Like, who do you think you are? So I don't know. I also feel that ASAP Relly kind of feels like he has to play catch up. So he's doing all of these things as far as in the music industry because his connect is ASAP Relly, where he's going into business meetings. He's not an artist himself, but from what he was saying, he has artists under his belt. So ASAP really looks like he is scrambling and scrambling, trying to keep up the same status as ASAP Rocky based off of what did they say? What is the word that they say? By association. By association. So it looks like over time, over the years, there has been some type of jealousy, maybe on ASAP Relly's part, and based off of how ASAP Rocky is treating him and the other ASAP members. And he's in the music industry. So the time that he did have when they were 17 years old and continuing on until he became famous, ASAP Rocky does not have that time anymore. He's interacting with people who are in the music industry, people of a certain status, people of a certain tax bracket that ASAP really is not in. He did mention that, oh, I figured out a way how to make, money. So it sounds like he was reaching out to ASAP Rocky for help, or being that ASAP Rocky has connections, if he could put him on. And he did mention during the trial that he would call ASAP Rocky the 6-month man, because oftentimes he would reach out to ASAP Rocky probably for some type of help or some type of assistance, or connect him with his people, and ASAP Rocky was pretty much ignoring him. He would either leave him on read when he would text message him, or he would not respond at all. Or if he does respond, it would be months and months later, like 6 months later. So I can see how over time, once ASAP Rocky became famous, he did not have time for ASAP Relly anymore. And this was making ASAP Relly very upset. Probably there's a little bit of jealousy, or maybe a lot of jealousy, animosity, and coupled with the fact that ASAP Rocky feels like the position that he is in now, he can talk to his friends any old kind of way. And ASAP Relly was just not having it. So basically, the water has just been boiling and boiling and boiling over the years, and it pretty much bubbled over at this point, where now both of these gentlemen are fighting, and there are other ASAP members who probably chose a side. They probably all were friends. And of course, being ASAP Rocky who he is, and he has the connections, and he can also bring, as well as the other ASAP members, into parties or events that ASAP really probably couldn't get them into. So because of ASAP Rocky's status, all of his friends, this what it looks like, shimmied on over to ASAP Rocky's side, and they chose his side, and they didn't choose Relly's side. So now ASAP Relly is out of the room. He also had mentioned that he no longer has the connections. No one wants to work with him. All the artists that he had, that he managed, that were managed under him, they're gone. So he has pretty much lost his livelihood because him and ASAP Rocky are no longer friends, and that this incident had occurred, and now they are in court, currently on trial. So I would say a combination of things that has occurred over the years, this is why we are where we are here today.